Hello, guys. I'm alive. I accidentally went on a bit of a hiatus, but turns out I needed it. And to help me get back in the swing of things, Sarah's here.
Hi. I hope you miss.
So I promise next episode I will be wrapping up Mockingjay, and I'm gonna have to put a trigger warning on that episode because does that do those last chapters get dark, and I need to take a mental health break for that specific reason. So heads up for that episode, guys.
Yeah.
Also, Sarah got to witness me finishing Chain of Thorns.
Guys, I thought there was an actual emergency because she'd already said goodnight for the day and she called me and she was crying and she just kept saying, "Why?"
She thought there'd have been some kind of fatal accident that suddenly happened. She thought someone was being rushed to the yard. No, I was just screaming over fictional teenagers fighting demons.
Okay, but now can we give them the reverse, which is funny too?
Yes.
Guys, then again, this is the friend who, when I said, "How far is this town from you?" thought it was because I had a doctor's appointment out there because my health is crap. Hi. It's fun. It's been a good 2 months.
Yeah.
Great 2 months, even.
Yeah.
I'm completely lying to you. It sucked. But I asked where a town was in Alyson's state to see if she could go to an event that I couldn't attend. And she thought it was because there might be a doctor's appointment out there and was trying to figure out how she'd plan that.
Because
But
that's what
she
my
got
brain.
front row seats to see Rick Riordan.
Yes, I do. When I tell you I screamed, and also I because I like had to download the Ticketmaster app onto my phone, and I was at work, by the way. It was like almost like the tickets went on sale at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, like Eastern Standard Time, which is the time zone we're in, thankfully. And but I like had to sneak away, and my lunch break had already ended. And I don't get very long lunch breaks, by the way. I think half-hour lunch breaks are not very long, but whatever.
Yeah,
So
you unwind and then you're back.
yeah, it's like as soon as I get like 5 minutes, because I can't eat very fast, and sometimes the DoorDash driver gets there late, despite the fact that I ordered my food like half an hour ahead of time, and the place I ordered from is like a 3 minute drive down the road, but whatever. But anyway, so because it's like by the time you're I eat my food, it's like suddenly there's like 5 minutes left, and I can't like really chill or read or do what I want during my breaks.
This is why I read and eat at the same time most days.
Yeah, but I struggle to do that.
I don't blame you.
Yep. And it's why audiobooks are helpful. I can put my earbuds in for that at least. But anyway, so my lunch break was over. I had to sneak away to get I like snuck away into the bathroom in like the back, and I kind of sat and I was sitting in one of the stalls on the toilet, just hold like looking at my phone anxiously, like watching the countdown on Ticketmaster happen. And it made me wait in line, Ticketmaster. So I got a brief taste of what I'm sure all the Swift everyone was going through when the Eras Tour tickets went live. Um, and I don't know how y'all dealt with that stress because I couldn't handle it for this one. Thankfully, it wasn't these tickets weren't going to cost me an arm and a leg. But yeah, guys, being single has its advantages because automatically it's like choose your seats. It automatically had me set for two, but as soon as I switch it to one, suddenly front row seats were available. So I'm seeing Rick Riordan.
I called you after work just to have you scream. Did I
Yeah,
not?
yeah, because I wasn't holding it. I was barely holding it together. And then I sounded
First
really
thing I said was, okay, let it out. Go ahead.
yep. And I think I put a few and then I think I was just so excited cuz my excitement was just then contagious cuz it came across on the phone, and suddenly customers seemed to be in better moods when they talked to me.
Love that.
Mhm. But anyway, this is a slightly chaotic introduction, but whatever. Oh, okay, no, Ray's good. I thought she was getting into something, but no, she's fine.
Oh,
So
Alyson,
yeah.
you haven't had our friends hear you in a while.
Wait, what?
Our
Sorry.
friends, the listeners, haven't heard from you in a while.
I know, because I disappeared off the face of the earth for my sanity.
So, because I know this was a segment you did anyway. Recent reads.
Oh yeah, I've made one YouTube video about it. Well, Chain of Thorns, obviously.
Yeah, God help me.
Yeah, I know. What else have I read? I don't know. My life before Chain of Thorns doesn't matter suddenly.
Yeah. You went to book club after not having read the book because you were too busy reading the other
Yeah.
book.
You see, I was going to read the book for book club, but then I decided to be a delinquent and read what my heart wanted to read, which was Chain of Thorns.
How dare you?
I
How
know.
dare you follow your heart?
I know. Although I'm making up for it by reading the YA book club book right now, and I'm really enjoying it. What's it called? The Davenports. It's like a historical fiction about a very rich black family in Chicago in like 1902. I think it's amazing. So I mean, granted, I'm not even 100 pages in so far, but I'm already intrigued. And there's like four point of views, all of them young women, and I love each and every one of them already.
Nice.
So it was like the official I think it was the official Barnes and Noble pick for February, and this like the YA book club meets like the second Tuesday of the month, like after the book. So this is technically for the February read. So happy belated Black History Month, everyone. Though you should always celebrate Black history, in my opinion,
Seriously though.
as well as women's history, and and Asian, and all the other things that are not cis straight white men.
Straight white man.
Oh, Bo Burnham.
I love that one. That one and the country song are my favorites.
Yep. Oh, speaking of white boys we love,
Oh no.
um, Sarah and I recently saw Titanic in theaters for the 25th anniversary re-release. For the record, we love Jack Dawson, not DiCaprio, because he has problems.
He does. He problematic, but Jack Dawson is pure.
Yep, Jack Dawson is the best. And a Titanic is one of the best movies of all time. I don't care what any film bros try to tell me. She says as she sips a large mug of tea.
Yes.
Yeah, no one else can see this, but also my hair is kind of falling out of my clip right now, but the way it is, it looks really good.
It does.
I like it. This suits me. I'm also a little buzzed right now, guys. I was over at Bubba's house having dinner, and I drank a little too much wine. So I had alcohol for courage because I don't even know if I know how to podcast anymore. It's only been
We're here. We're doing it.
we're doing this. So like I said, thank you, Sarah, for helping me get back into the swing of it, because I need the moral support.
Yes. That's what I'm here for.
All
I
right.
am moral support friend.
Yay. But because I'm not talking about Mockingjay this week, I thought it'd be fun to. I know this was inspired by the Books Unbound podcast, because I was catching up on some. I fell behind on my podcast that I listened to in order to listen to the audiobooks for Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron, so I could, be fully prepared for Chain of Thorns. So I'm catching up on Books Unbound, and I was listening to their goals for the new year, reading wise, and I thought, you know what? And Ariel mentioned she had a segment where it's like no more BS TBR, like the book she's been meaning to read forever. And I thought, why don't Sarah and I just, put it out into the universe, speak it out loud, talk about our like top 5-ish no more BS books that we want to read. And also, slight tangent, I believe that you don't need to come up with all your goals in January just because everyone else and their mom says you should. I think you can set goals whenever. And personally, I think March is a great time because spring's around the corner. The weather's getting warmer. We're feeling more optimistic. The seasonal depression is less aggressive.
And on top of that, it's the end of first quarter. We made it, guys.
Woohoo!
Only 3 more to go.
Yay! I'm just glad I work inside an office now and not out in the elements. Yep. Although apparently, according to some of my coworkers, the office building I work in, even in the summer they apparently blast the AC so hard that they still have to layer up when they're in the office in the summertime. So I got to keep the blanket that I have in my drawer at work. I got to keep it in there all year apparently.
At my office, we all have jackets, cardigans, blankets, etc.
Mm.
because it's always cold in there at some point during the day.
Yep, exactly. And I'm in one of the warmer sections of the office because I'm closest to our operation manager's office. And for some reason, her room is always like really warm. And I don't know what it is about that room. It's just the warmest. And then like if you go to the other side, the big room in the main office, it's like tundra in there. So and our office and our operations manager, she keeps the her office door open for the most part unless she has a meeting. And my desk happens to be one of the closest to hers, so I get a little bit of that heat come over to me.
The vent above my head is usually shooting out AC instead of heat.
Oof.
I usually have a cardigan on. And chronic pain plus, there are very few of them, but chronic pain plus, I usually have my heating pad on. So it keeps me a little warmer.
Yay. Anyway, should we talk about the books that are our top five in no particular order, no more BS reads that we really want to get through this year?
Sure. And at some point later in this episode, can I just rant at you about a book? Because I feel like you'll find it interesting.
Of course. Maybe I'll do a non-spoilery rant about Chain of Thorns too at the end.
Who's- And who's starting?
You're the guest.
All right. First one is one that like everybody has read, I feel like, and it's so deeply loved. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. Schwab.
That's hilarious because Sam, who I gave like 3 months of book of the month to for Christmas, that was a book she just got. She showed me a picture of it. That's hilarious.
Nice. I've had it since it came out on Book of the Month. I've picked it up a couple of times. I've started it, but like something has always gotten in the way. And that's very much the theme of the books that I have on my list. Except for like one of them, life has just gotten in the way.
Mm-hmm. I hate it when that happens.
But like, guys, I don't have to tell you about the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I'll be shocked if you haven't already heard about it.
If you've spent like 1 minute on book talk, you've heard of the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. It feels like because didn't
Truth.
that book come out like during the height of the pandemic in 2020? So like everyone was reading it.
Yeah, everybody's like, we're stuck inside and this book is long. Let's go.
I think I didn't read it like when it came out, like quite at the peak. I think I read it maybe like a few months after the hype was dying down, but it's still very much a beloved book. And I really like. I remember I had a great time reading that book. So I'm excited for you that you still get to experience that.
Yes.
All right. So speaking of long books, a book that I bought the year it came out because I remember I bought it because at the end toward the end of that year Barnes and Noble was doing their like here's a select number of books in hardcover that you can get for 50% off, and you could like do it from the website. So I bought it for that reason because it was like a giant hardcover, and that
Is
is
it the book I'm scared of?
yeah. So it's Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, and the prequel just came out. And what motivated me to kind of start reading it is because, well, for one thing, I've realized I think when setting reading goals, it's probably healthier to focus on the amount of pages to read instead of the amount of books, because then I'll never get to the big books I want to read. And then flying through Chain of Thorns reminded me, oh, big books aren't that scary because I used to read long books no problem when I was younger. So I'm like, so like I don't know, just reading Chain of Thorns and just being so excited about it and like in such a long book because it's like over 700 pages, just gave me that feeling of like when I was in 7th grade and just reading everything in like 2 days, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, you know what? I need to tackle another big book ASAP. So Priory of the Orange Tree, which I feel like most people have heard of. And also, again, a couple people in my book club were talking about it. And I'm like, you guys, you got me convinced now.
Nice.
Yep. And there are dragons in that book. That's all I really know. That's all I need to know.
Can I do a 2-for-1?
Yes.
Someday maybe. I'm going to butcher this author's name, and I am so sorry. I have looking at it stresses me out. So
No.
it's Someday Maybe by Anyi Nwabineli. I hope that was kind of intelligible.
Yeah. I think
And
that's
Transcendent Kingdom by Ya Gyasi.
yeah. Why do I know those titles?
They were both Book of the Month picks.
Okay,
Bef-
that
I
explains.
think they were before you joined, but they're both Book of the Month books.
Hmm.
But they're both books by women of color that handle grief and loss. And I know that I picked Transcendent Kingdom up in that weird liminal period after my grandfather died, when I was obsessed with grief, and I opened it, I started it, and I got maybe 15 pages in and couldn't do it. Someday Maybe is a newer book. It's a debut. I started it again. I wasn't in the right place for it, but it's a woman grappling. Trigger warnings here. It's a woman grappling with her husband's suicide, and what I read of it is gorgeous. I just wasn't in the place to keep going, so I'm hoping to return to those two and give them the time that they deserve, and also take that space for myself.
Yeah, important to be in the right headspace when reading books that deal with that topic. Yay!
Yay!
Woo! Not us doing the Chandler Bing strategy where we try to
Joke to
sound
cope.
silly, make jokes when dealing with dark topics.
Joke to cope.
Woo! That's what we were doing the other night. It was fun. All right. Next on my TBR that I think came out almost like a full year ago, and I said when this book came out that it was like one of my most anticipated reads of the year. I want to read it ASAP, and I said last fall when I did the Finally Fall book tag, I'm like, nope, no more BS. I'm gonna do this. Well, here I am. Everything I said about was complete bullshit, so I still haven't read it.
It's okay.
I
We forgive.
bought this book the week it came out, and I remember because you and I were at Barnes and Noble, and you pointed at the table because it was on the table of new releases, and I was like, mine. And it's All My Rage by Saba Tahir.
I forgive you in on behalf of the listeners.
Thank you. I don't know. Maybe I'm just subconsciously still angry at Saba for what she did to a character at the end of the An Ember in the Ashes series.
Could be.
Because I think yeah, earlier that like before All My Rage came out, that was around the time I finally finished that series, and I was experiencing some heavy emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage. TikTok has ruined our brains. Oh yeah, it has. Woo!
I hope you leave that in for the listeners. They deserve
I
it.
will.
They deserve it. We love you guys.
Thanks for
And
putting
gals. And non-binary pals.
yeah. Thanks for putting up with me, everyone. All right, what's next on your list?
The Falling in Love montage by Sierra Smith. Ciara Smith, sorry.
I haven't heard of this. Tell me more.
It is a sapphic summer rom-com after one of the main characters either loses someone or the person is at end of life. I don't remember. But sapphic summer rom-com. It's called the Falling in Love montage. I'm in. The cover has a nice, gorgeous, like summer setting on it. I'm in.
That should be a whole genre, sapphic summer rom com.
Truly.
Book talk, make
We,
it happen.
We love the bisexuals, we love the gays, but like sapphic summer romances.
Emotional. That's gonna be stuck in my head now all night, guys, and the alcohol's not helping with that.
It's my fault. Yay.
Thank you, Sarah. Anyway, I don't know. Speaking of summer, actually, I have no idea if this book takes place in the summer. This book came out like either like the middle to end of August last year, and it has a very bright yellow cover, so I associate it with summer. And it's another book where like I was so excited to read it. I pre-ordered it. I made sure to get it the day it came out, and I still haven't read it. And Book Talk and the whole book community can shame me for this one. Carrie Sato is back by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
We were we were just commiserating over the fact that we haven't read that yet the other day. I haven't even bought it yet.
No, I'm still mad about it.
But also, I feel like I would want to reread Malibu Rising first because she appears in it. Remember?
Yeah, that's true. But then again, I am impulsive, so here we go.
Valid.
Yeah, I'm bad at like going back and rereading books that are part of like series or companion books. The Last Hour series was clearly the exception here.
Yeah.
But yeah, Taylor Jenkins Reid is fantastic. And also don't forget to read some of her backlisted contemporary reads, guys, because those are also fantastic. Especially One True Loves. That's my favorite. Still have yet to read two of them, but so far so good. And I'm glad that I got the like original covers when I did, because they reprinted all her like backlist ones, and I don't like the new covers. No,
Valid.
not for me.
This is where I mentioned that a book that almost made it onto my list was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Woohoo!
I also want to read Daisy Jones and the Six again because of the Amazon Prime series.
Oh, that's right. Wait, did the first episode come out?
Yeah, Brianna texted me about it. She remembered when I read the book.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget that they actually made them a band and actually put the album out.
What? Okay, I like know nothing. I haven't been following the promotion of the show at all because I just wanted to go in like almost blind, but I did not know that.
They made the album and put the album out. It's called Aurora.
Oh, what?
Yes. And the cast is beautiful, and I'm so hopeful for this series. I loved Daisy Jones and the Six when I read it the first time. I really want to read it again. Certain points in that book that I won't mention because they're major spoilers, like still forever live in my mind when I think about like great writing.
Uh-huh. Because I know both of us read it like with our eyeballs the first time, but it'd be amazing if we listened to the audiobook, because I think they did a full cast recording for like a full cast for that audiobook.
I think they did.
Yes.
I think they did.
Um, spe- Also speaking of series, Shadow and Bone season 2 comes out this week. Yeah, everyone pray for Sarah because I just finished Chain of Thorns and now Shadow and Bone season 2 is coming out.
When does it come out?
On Thursday. Although I think I'll be good and wait till like Friday so I can like stay up all night.
Of course, it doesn't come out when we're expecting the nor'easter at the start of the week.
What?
There's a nor'easter Monday into Tuesday. I heard my area is expecting over a foot of snow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't want a foot of snow.
Yeah. Even if we did get a foot of snow, I'll still probably be expected to go into work.
It's a possibility for me. Like, they'll probably make me bring my laptop home in case.
Mm-hmm.
But also, guys, I don't drive. I use a ride share to get to work. You know how bad that's gonna suck?
Yeah. No one's gonna want to take you. All right.
Okay.
Where were we? Last book we talked
Um,
about Carrie Sato, right?
yes, so it's technically my turn because
Okay.
I threw in an honorable mention there.
Right. And then we started talking about Daisy Jones and Shadow and Bone.
Yes. So, The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman, which, if you go chronologically through the Practical Magic books, is the second book. Another book I've started multiple times, haven't gotten through, but like I have a renewed desire because of how much I loved book one, like chronological book one. I also love the actual Practical Magic book, which in publication order is book one, but like it follows the aunts from the actual Practical Magic book, which I love. Fun fact, one of them is played by Stockard Channing in the movie, and if that name doesn't ring a bell, that was Rizzo in Grease.
Ooh, cool. Okay. Well, shouldn't have closed out my phone where I wrote the list down. What did I say next?
This is where I could to shut my brain up and say, since I mentioned Grease, a hickey from Kaneki is like a Hallmark card.
I'm pretty sure my mom can just, if you asked her to, could recite the entire movie of Grease.
Probably.
All right. It's like the one musical she ever got obsessed with. Then she had me.
My brain is the inside of my brain right now is just Grease lightning.
Grease lightning. Grease lightning. Okay. I don't know. I was trying to connect the book I was gonna say next, but I can't figure out how to connect it. So I'll just say it. Okay, next, it's a series, three books. I ideally want to read the whole series this year, but if I just only read book one this year, that's an accomplishment. I will be proud of myself for that. And it's The Poppy Wars by R.F. Kuang, because last year I read Babel, and holy freaking goodness, it was like one of my favorite reads. It was like one of the best books ever. So I'm like, and everyone always tells me like The Poppy Wars is good. So I'm like, okay, well now I really have to read The Poppy Wars because Babel was phenomenal.
Yes.
Hmm. And war and things. Again, I don't know too much about this series because I'm like, I'm gonna trust the people. In fact, I trusted the people and the fact that I loved Babel so much that I used my gift card money like at the end of the year to buy the entire Poppy Wars trilogy in hardcover.
Damn.
That's how much faith I have in you people. Don't let me down. Basically, I just realized I haven't been reading enough fantasy lately, so I'm trying to remedy that this year.
And this brings us to number 5.
Woohoo!
Unless you're me and you cheat by doing a twofer for number 2 and throwing an honorable.
Hey, it's all good.
Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. Only book of hers I have not read. And we know how much I love her.
Yeah.
I've read every other Nina LaCour book and would give them 4 stars or higher.
Mhm.
2 of my favorite books ever are Nina LaCour books. Since I've already mentioned it multiple times, We Are Okay is a favorite, and then Watch Over Me. Those are her 2, if you ask me, like gold star books.
I remember when Watch Over Me came out and we read it. Like, y'all, she was not okay. I mean, she
I
was,
was not.
but she
And
wasn't.
then I did a reread and wasn't okay on the reread either, even though I knew what was coming.
Hmm. Good times.
The best of times.
Yep, it
I
was
have
the
an art print
time.
downstairs of the cover for that book because I pre-ordered it.
Damn.
They sent me a print of that gorgeous original hardcover front cover. If you haven't seen that cover art, go check it out. Not the purpley paperback one, which is still gorgeous in its own right,
Mhm.
but the original light blue cover
Yeah.
with the hair rising.
I'll be I'll be honest, when I saw that cover when the book came out and we got it, and like when I read the synopsis that she was going to stay at some farm, this was around the time the movie Midsommar came out with Florence Pugh, and I thought, oh god, girl, run, don't join the cult. Well, because that movie looks stressful.
Yeah. So, what is your number 5?
Oh, Also, another fantasy book, Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan, and and it's part of a duology, so we're including the sequel, Heart of the Sun Warrior, based off a Chinese myth, which I don't know the name because I didn't prepare, I didn't do my research for this episode. Whoops. But yeah, so basically, the moon goddess has a daughter that is banished to the moon. She has a daughter she's not supposed to, and I think the daughter accidentally uses magic and just detected by the gods, has to go on the run trying to save her mother, all the fun stuff. Like, I guess it's technically YA because they were talking about it on the Hey YA Book Riot podcast, but for some reason I've never seen it in the YA section at Barnes and Noble, so I don't know, but whatever. But yeah, it sounds up my alley.
It does.
Sounds up my alley.
You got there. It took some time, Allie, but you got there.
Yeah. Also, I realized a goal that I was telling Sarah about last night that I started an Excel spreadsheet for, by the way. Is I want 50% of the books I read this year to be books that I bought like 2022 and before, basically anything before 2023, because I want to actually, like, seriously, because every year I say I want to tackle my TBR, I want to read the books I have, but I haven't, like, they've always been vague goals. I want a more like concrete number goal, and I made a spreadsheet for it, guys, because
The
there's a lot of
spreadsheet.
books that I know I on my shelf that I haven't read that I know I will love. So getting on that. That's all. That's our like top no more BS reads of the year. But what's the rant you wanted to give, Sarah?
I made an impulse buy today, and it was a wonderful yet incredibly emotional decision. And this book is fascinating in its own right, and I feel like you'll be like kind of interested.
Okay.
It is a poetry collection called Lazarus Rises, amongst other things, by Berkeley Novak Stolz. It is a poetry collection. Have you heard about this?
I feel like I have.
It it just came out the Tuesday before we're recording this episode.
Oh, no
It wasn't
way.
supposed it wasn't supposed to come out until Thursday, but it is indie published and the author accidentally published it 2 days early.
That's amazing.
I happen to follow Berkeley over on TikTok. They're Icarus Pendragon over on TikTok. I love them.
Icarus,
And this is a
Icarus Pendragon, Alyson. Link it in the show notes.
yes. It is a poetry collection about love, grief, and such because it's been less than a year since Berkeley's brother ended his own life on Berkeley's birthday. You know what's really fascinating about this whole thing? The media convergence. Because this book is, like I said, their story of grief and love and perseverance through it's very biblical. There's a lot of reference, but also supernatural because they're a giant supernatural fan. The book is named after the season 4 episode 1 episode Lazarus Rising, where Dean comes back from hell. Alyson, I told you about this episode
Oh yeah.
recently,
Oh yeah,
where
I
Dean
remember.
literally claws himself out of his own grave.
Yeah, that sounds horrifying.
The writing in the book, though, is absolutely stupendous. I'm about 70% of the way done with it. I just bought it this afternoon. It is so deep and heavy, but they encapsulate grief so well. But like, it's insane because this book is already, I think it's number 2 and number 3 in new poetry on Amazon.
Damn.
11,000 copies have gone out in less than a week.
Holy shit, good for them.
People are writing articles about this book and the connection to supernatural. Like they're going viral again.
Fuck yeah.
And it's crazy because like they're very in the fandom, like to the point where the Winchesters TV series sent them 2 merch packages recently.
Oh my
They
god!
they met Jensen Ackles again recently, the gentleman who plays Dean, and brought a copy of Lazarus Rises with them and showed it to him and had him read some of the poetry and got him to sign the book.
I love that so much.
And I flip ahead in books often. I'll read like the acknowledgments if I really like what I'm getting halfway through. The last paragraph of the acknowledgments is to Dean Winchester. So the fact that Berkeley was able to get it in the hands of Jensen Ackles and get him to know it existed and get him to sign it kills me. And the dedication at the front of the book is to Misha Collins, who played Castiel.
Guys, I've seen like 2 episodes of Supernatural, but I love how invested Sarah gets me in the fandom.
Okay, but fun fact, guys, the episodes that Alyson has watched are the musical episode from season 10, whose name is escaping me, which I cannot believe. Fan fiction. Fan fiction. It's dead ass fan fiction. And the Scooby Natural episode.
Yeah.
Those are 2 of my favorite episodes. But no, after their brother died, the author I don't know if they still do. I think they still do. But for the longest time would watch that season 4 episode Lazarus Rises over and over and over at least once a day, but usually multiple times
Don't I know that?
because it resonated. There are poems specifically about that one episode. It's where the title of the book came from.
I mean, I know that feeling. I've watched the Dear Billy episode of season 4 of Stranger Things many a times.
Also, I can't believe that the Winchesters TV series fucking confirmed the multiverse. If only to have Dean come back from the dead again.
Yeah, y'all. Sarah sent me a clip of that from TikTok and was sobbing.
I was not okay. I was like
We were both.
I've loved Supernatural for years. Dean Winchester has always been my favorite. He's been a character that's resonated with me for years.
Also, fun fact. Oh, forgot to mention at the beginning of the episode, guys, but another reason I was going on hiatus was because my laptop charger that I was using was not working and charging my computer, which, is a problem since, most of the work I do for this podcast is on my computer. Which including but not limited to writing the episodes and editing the episodes. So that was a major problem.
Yeah, it was a very fun appointment at the Apple Store.
Yep. Thankfully, I've had this laptop since 2017, so I'm due for a new one soon. But thankfully, we're at least able to solve the short-term problem and just get me a new charger, so I can save up for a new computer. But yeah, like that was just I guess that was just the universe's way of saying, "Girl, you're crazy. Take a break. You haven't missed this in 2022. You didn't miss a single week, including when you went out of the country, and even at the end of December when most podcasters take a break."
Take a break. I'm on
Way
fire.
where that's for the summer. I have to go upstate. Oh yeah. I'm gonna crash tonight. I can already tell because I'm going crazy. Although speaking of crazy, my little mini non-spoilery rant, I have a bone to pick with Cassandra Clare because she was trolling us the entire time. Well, the entire time, but for a good chunk of Chain of Thorns because she made some previous material back when Clockwork Princess came out, and those who are fans know what I'm talking about. That gave all of us preconceived notions of which character was going to be safe and which characters weren't. And when Chain of Gold first came out, Cassandra Clare was like, "Oh, don't trust it." We were all like, "Oh, you're just messing with us, Cassie." No, guys, she was serious. So what the fuck? And if you were going to do that, Cassie, because I get it, like you made this thing years ago, and the way you want things to go when you're writing can change. But at the very least, not at the cost of a different character's character arc, though, because it was still good, but I think it could have been better. But anyway, one day I will rant about this in like 50 million years when I'm doing bookish babbles and I'm going through all the Shadowhunter books. My God, we're gonna spend at least 5 years in the Shadowhunters universe, probably.
I feel bad for the person who just texted me because
Oh
it
no!
wasn't me. It was a wrong number text.
Oh no! Oh, speaking of wrong numbers, when I sent the second Zoom link because we had to make a second one, I accidentally texted it to Owen at first because he and I were
Why
texting
did you
about
grow up?
something. Because he and I were texting about something right before we started recording. I need to have him on the podcast one day. We need because he and I we're bad at coordinating times when we're both available.
Yeah.
Like how dare you? How dare you have for? Like how dare you make plans? Not accept.
Oh, Alyson.
Yeah.
The poem I texted you today was from Lazarus Rises.
Oh, okay. I love that.
Yes. I sent that to my wonderful support system now that my health has kind of gone to shit.
But
Y'all are some real superheroes.
love you, man.
Love you too.
All right. Should probably end it here. There was very little structure to this episode. Clearly, I feel like I'm podcasting for the first time again. But yeah, next time and I'm fixing my hair currently while I'm wrapping this up, guys. Don't mind me. Sarah gets to witness this.
Enjoy the chaos, friends. I have to watch it too.
Yeah. But yeah, next time we talk, I promise we'll be wrapping up Mockingjay. And I genuinely needed a break, and it's not just because I'm putting off the end of the Hunger Games series. Maybe it's a mix of both. But anyway, thank
So
you
what's next?
everyone. What'd you say?
What's next?
We'll talk about that once Mockingjay's wrapped up. Well, you
Valid. That
know.
was more for my own curiosity.
Oh, I swear I told you, but I'll tell you after. I'll tell you in private after. But as for
Okay.
as for the listeners,
I
y'all
know before
will
you. Ha.
y'all will find out soon. Okay. But seriously, I appreciate y'all listening, and I hope the chaos gives you some amusement at the very least.
Guys, gals, non-binary pals, hydrate before you dihydrate. Stay safe. We love you. Go read a damn book.
Yes. Go read. Yeah, actually, maybe that'll be that can be the question of the week. If you're listening on Spotify, go ahead and answer it. What's your top No More BS book you want to read this year?
Yes, let us know.
Because I'd love to know. Give us some other great ideas for books we would want to read. So
Please.
that being said, hope y'all socials in the show notes, blah blah blah, you know the routine. I hope y'all have a great day/night, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.